Hello, buonasera, buongiorno. I'm Alison Cornish, and I am professor of Italian studies at New York University. And I'm here in Michigan because we're on lockdown to talk today about Purgatorio II with my friend Leonardo.
Hello, I'm Leonardo. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Michigan, but I am in New York now.
And we're here today to talk about Purgatorio II. So, Leonardo, what resonates today with you in Purgatorio II?
Well, there is much in this canto that is resonant with our condition, but a crucial theme that I find particularly resonant with our new situation is that of nostalgia, which is also interwoven with the theme of friendship and being tied to our earthly affections.
Why does that resonate with you right now?
Because I'm nostalgic, because my affections are now with me, and because I would like to embrace them and I can't.
So here we are talking on Skype with the people we care about and trying to recreate community. And that's what resonates with me in this canto today, is this notion of a community that survives or that has to be recreated after we've lost our former community by some kind of traumatic separation. So just to remember to set the stage of where we are at this point in Dante's journey in the Divine Comedy, Canto 2, a fresh ship of saved souls arrives from across the ocean in a boat propelled by an angel. It was very bright, and they're singing a song of Exodus. And then the souls, when they land, they ask directions from Dante and his guide Virgil, who turn out to be just as new to this place as they are. They're also pilgrims, Virgil says. And then they notice that Dante is breathing. And from among them, a soul moves to embrace Dante. And then they can't do it because one of them is dead and has no body. And Dante talks very movingly about how his arms come around and hit his chest when he tries to embrace his old friend. Dante is especially tired from his journey because he has a body and he's been through hell. And he asks his friend to sing a song the way evidently he used to. And Casella sings a song that begins Amor che nella mente mi ragiona, which turns out to be a song that Dante himself wrote, a song about how love discourses or reasons with us in our minds. And he does it so sweetly that this sweetness still sounds within the poet as he writes. And it transfixes both him and all the people there, including his very rational guide, Virgil, and all the newly arrived souls as they listen happily to that sound without a care in the world. And for this, they are suddenly and forcibly scattered like doves by the good old man, Cato, who is the guardian on the shore we met in the first canto. And he chides these slow spirits for their negligence and reminds them that they have work to do to remove the slough that prevents God from being manifest to them, to go and make themselves beautiful, is what Dante says. So that's my sort of quick summary of where we are with this canto. And where does nostalgia then come in for you?
You touched upon like many issues that I find very relevant and resonant with our situation. And nostalgia, yeah, we see it, I believe, in the encounter between Dante and his friend Casella. Dante expresses nostalgia for, well, we will say that our earthly existence as living being, but we might as well phrase it as nostalgia for what we had and no longer have. And you mentioned the failed embrace. I was rereading these verses. There is a failed embrace. Dante says, io vidi una di loro trarresi avanti per abbracciarmi con sì grande affetto che mosse a me farlo somigliante. I saw coming forward one from among them as to embrace me with such great affection that incited me to do the same. And he goes on to say, ombre vane fuorche nell'aspetto save in appearance. 3 times behind it did I clasp my hands, as often I returned with them to my own breast. So he stresses the affection, the reason why he's moved to embrace him, but he cannot do it. So this failed embrace, I thought a lot about it, because when we call our family, our friends, we would like to hug them and we can't. And my family is in Florence now, but even if you have them a few blocks from your place, you still don't want to see them because you know that it's dangerous, you want to avoid them. So every day I feel there are failed embraces for us now.
Yeah, it's very true. And everybody is so astonished that Dante has a body. I find that I'm very astonished when I see movies and people are all embracing each other, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe people could actually kiss each other and shake hands, and those seem such astonishing things now from our new perspective, our new vantage point.
Yeah, and Casella also uses the term corpo, my mortal body. So even the deprivation of the mortal body doesn't take anything away from the great affection. Another like striking set of verses when Casella says, "Così come io t'amai nel mortal corpo, così t'amo sciolta, però m'arresto." As I loved you when I was within my mortal body, so I love you now that I am freed, and this is why I stay. That is on account of my enduring affection for you. So nostalgia as interwoven with friendship and memory, and it's nostalgia for what we used to do and cannot do anymore.
And so the songs are a good way to remember the past. When we think about soundtracks in movies, how right if the songs are from the '60s, right, then you know what time you're in and everything. And of course, there are two songs in Canto 2, and the first one is a much more ancient song, and it's sung by the souls all together in that passage. Where it says in exitu Israel de Egitto cantavan tutti insieme ad una voce con quanto di quel salmo è poscia scritto. So they sing this psalm, which Dante has fit into his own hendecasyllable verse in Latin. Israel, when Israel came out of Egypt, which of course has to do with Exodus, with the Jewish people leaving a land of captivity and going towards freedom. It's the song of transit, the song of Passover, the song of Easter, which is also happening right now. And they all sang with one voice. So that song is something, because of its rhythm and its rules and its the way it's been set down, it can get everybody together on the same page, so to speak, on the same verse and saying the same thing. Even though they are many, they speak with one voice. And then Dante does something very interesting, because he doesn't tell you the rest of the psalm. He says they went on in the song with the rest of it, which is written, which reminds the reader of that psalm, because it would be a familiar psalm, so that we too can remember and sort of sing along, so to speak, with those words. And so I was thinking about this song as being a song about something that happened. It's a very Old Testament story, right? That resonates with the New Testament and with salvation and with the right here and now of these people taking the boat towards their salvation. And so it's a comparison of two times, and that's exactly what happens in nostalgia, right? You've got I loved you in my body, now I love you that I don't have my body, and we can no longer embrace. And so the time of the ancient Hebrews and the time that I'm experiencing now, I can sort of compare them. So time is of utmost importance in the Purgatory, wouldn't you say?
I would say so, and also if I can go off what you said about the other song, the song of love that Dante asks Casella to sing, "Amor che nella mente mi ragiona," you pointed out the sweetness of it. So sweet it sounded in my ear, and sweetness is again I believe related to nostalgia and to be untied the affections, because I was thinking about the first cantica in the Inferno. The earth is often referred to as dolce mondo, the sweet world. So the sweetness of it as adding more to this being tied to it, not letting it go and remembering it. And there is a new condition, as you said, and I think is very often emphasized, the newness, the novelty of the condition. But there is also being tied to what is past and we still want to have and no longer can have. And I was very struck. I don't know about you, Alison, but by the use of the adjective "new" when Dante asked Casella to sing a song of love for him. He says, se nuova legge non ti toglie memoria o uso all'amoroso canto che mi solea quietar tutte mie doglie, di ciò ti piaccia consolare alquanto l'anima mia. If some new law does not take from you the memory or the practice of the songs of love which used to quiet all my longings, then may please you with those songs to comfort my soul somewhat. The nuova legge, the new law, refers to a heavenly decree, but also I believe to the new condition. Nuova legge is nuova condizione. And I was thinking about the use of the adjective novo in Dante. We can say in modern Italian as well, like I'm new to this place, so this is new to me. But I was thinking that in Dante, it's very charged, this adjective. It means often not only different, but uncommon, unusual, unaccustomed, unknown, like never heard or seen. And it often means, especially in the Inferno, exceptional and unpredictable. So again, I was thinking about our new condition that is new and strange to us, but I was thinking primarily of the unpredictability of it. And this is very much emphasized in the first cantica when Virgil and Dante journey through hell, and situations are new and strange and frightening, and Dante uses sometimes the adjective new to emphasize that they cannot predict what is going to happen. Do you have any thoughts about this?
Yeah, well, certainly the fact that Dante has a body is kind of a nova, right? Everyone's so astonished, they can't believe that there's somebody there in the flesh, that the most normal thing becomes the most astonishing thing. The word nova is used several times in the canto. Nova gente, they're called, nove cose, and also they all rush around to Dante compares them to people who go to a messenger who's carrying an olive branch per udir novelle, so news, right? That this was going to be news. And so you have the contrast of the sweet old thing and then the new surprising thing, right? That contrast of the two times. Even the sweetness that you talked about, the poet says, ancor mi suona dentro, right? So that the sweetness is something that lasts even in the poet from the time that he first heard Casa sing it back there in Purgatory. He remembers it now. So it really brings the present and the past
together. It is very, very interesting because ancora, the adverb is still, and it made me think of how we begin. We begin with a già already. So there is a già that points to something new, and ancora, another adverb that refers to something that is old, and I want to recall, and I want to keep, and I want to retain. And you also mentioned the nova gente. Yeah, I was thinking about that because also Virgil points out the new situation and novelty of the condition that is, and this is new to them because when the new souls arrive, they ask Dante and Virgil if they know the way to go onto the mountain, but Virgil answers, voi credete forse che siamo esperti d'esto loco, ma noi siamo peregrini, come voi siete. You may believe that we are familiar with this shore, but we are strangers here, just as you are. So they are stranger to the place and the condition, but the place and the condition are new and strange to them as well.
Yeah. The first word, as you pointed out, is già, which in Latin would be jam, right? I mean, which means now, it means already. It's something that's sort of already by now, Mandelbaum says in his translation. And the beginning of Canto 2 is one of these multiple time references that Dante does in the Purgatory, telling us what time it is in Jerusalem, what time it is in Purgatory, what time it is in Spain, what time it is in India. Those are his 4 cardinal points, and then what time it is in Italy, which is skewed from there. And that too reminds us of how we're in different time zones, right? And we're trying to talk across time as well in our current situation. What else, Leonardo, should we talk about in Canto 2?
Well, I would like you to say more about the ballet separation, because when you were talking about that, it really made me think about the social distancing. You mentioned that, and this is peculiar of Purgatory. We are in a new Rome, and we very much see here the difference from the new Rome of Purgatory and the one that Virgin and Dante just left. Would you like to say something more about this? Because it really made me think of our social distancing now. So
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of people in hell, and sometimes they're packed in pretty tight. But you always have the sense that they're alone, and they're alone together. So they can be together, but not at all feel that they're in community. Whereas in purgatory, you very much feel like people are in community. And one of the ways in which that's signaled is the way that they sing together. And if we think about singing as a corporeal act, right, and yet it goes beyond our body. So our voice carries to the next room, but it also carries on the telephone. It carries obviously between you and me now, between New York and Michigan. And singing is also, in order to sing together, you have to both know the song. And so it has to do with custom or things that are known, which we can do again. And we remember them together, right? Those are many of the things that tie us together. So, yeah. Well, there we have it. We're in a kind of purgatory. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's unpredictable.
It's unpredictable, but we are pilgrims with hope. So thanks very much for talking with me today, Leonardo, about Purgatorio II. And alla prossima.
Alla
Ciao.
prossima. Ciao.